What did you do?
Nothing. I stirred the tanks.
Whoa. Hey.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem. We have a main bus B undervolt. We've got a lot of thruster activity here, Houston. It just went offline. Oh, there's another master alarm, Houston.
I'm checking the quad.
Christ, that was no repress valve.
Maybe it's in quad C.
We've got a computer
I'm
restart.
gonna reconfigure the RCS.
We've got a
When
ping
these things
light.
fire, it doesn't make any sense.
We've got multiple caution and warning, Houston. We've got a reset and restart.
All right, I'm going to SDS.
Jesus. Flight, the heart rates are skyrocketing.
Econ, what's your data telling you?
O2, tank 2, not reading at all. Tank 1 is at 725 PSI and falling. Fuel cells 1 and 3 are, oh boy, what's going on here? Flight, let me get back to you. Flight.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R live stream number 58. Number 58. Happy Monday to everybody out there in the crypto space. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend or tried to. This weekend was quite suspenseful, I gotta say, when it comes to the Titanx community. Don't forget, we're dual streaming. So if you're on YouTube, smash the like button, drop a comment, subscribe, post notifications. You know the drill. All right. If you're on X, retweet, hashtag Titanx, hashtag build on Titanx. Get it all out there so we can get the show on the road and get the YouTube algorithm going. All right. So we're going to talk about Lotus, right? Lotus. We're going to take a load off our chest here. I mean, really off my mind, talk about the events that took place. Now, I'm going to start off by saying, when it comes to Rainman, like, bro, I feel real bad for that dude. I really do. I feel really bad. Now, there's some things that he was able to put together to make people, whole again from, his perspective. Not everybody agreed with it, but I mean, comes off as a very genuine guy, I think he had the best intentions, right? And I feel really, really bad for him because this was like an opportunity to change his life when it comes to like what he could have made from this. And we'll discuss more about that. Because obviously he wanted to help the community out. He wanted to burn as much Titanx. He wanted to give you Lotus. It's been doing really well. And the end result is just really a mixed bag of people that are okay and happy about, the solution. But let's get into it. Okay, the weekend or the Monday after. So look, Saturday was supposed to be the day 8 Lotus payout, right? We'll go into the Lotus site. So everyone was happy. This is a big event in the community because you got to understand this right here. These numbers here that people were waiting on were like big, massive. And the people that believed early were buying the token and staking and saw the numbers that were there were excited. And you know that when you get a big payout like this, you go shopping. Like when you get a paycheck, people go shopping. And a lot of the money was probably excited to make more miners for the future, participate, in whatever else in the ecosystem. But it was an exciting time. All the way till the timer hit. And I was watching on chain, saw some whales go in, and then I was like, oh, some whales are coming at the last minute. Some people are going to definitely get a little bit of a lower payout. But then people started doing the math once the payout happened, and it was like 4.5% of what the calculations were stirring up to be. Like 4.5% of what you anticipated or what you should have gotten, roughly around that amount. And Rainman's in the chat. He's saying whales. I'm thinking whales. I go on the blockchain. I'll find a whale. I think that because the reason why I jumped to that, why he probably jumped to that, is because you're not thinking, oh no, smart contract error. You're not thinking anything along those lines. You're thinking there's got to be a ton of whales that came in the last second and really diluted the pool. That would be the only thing that makes sense in that moment. Other than you're thinking so negative, you're like, hey man, something's wrong with the contract. And turned out something did happen. We'll get into that. Let's get to the comments. I never want to skip out on my people that are here. Thank you guys for joining me. Fox Mulder, yeah, dog, what's going on? What's going on? Did you see Rainman made a post today about revising the eating mechanics from what he said yesterday? No, I haven't. I can explain why I haven't seen right there. He blocked me on Twitter on his account, which he was following me, and he blocked me on the Lotus account. So I won't be able to see any updates. Listen, emotions are running high. And during a time where he had the community waiting 24 hours, I was there pounding the content on X. And my the way I envisioned things when I was doing that and making their sense of urgency for him to come up with the answers, because during the time when I started talking on Twitter, it was being real loud. There was like this 2-hour phone call before we got told 24 hours, right? And I was like, we need answers now because you got to pressure these guys, right? They'll let you sit there and wait. And then they'll get their answer. They'll go drink their coffee. No, you need to come out and tell us what's going on right now because this is a big deal. Everyone was excited for this, right? But I haven't seen. Ahmet, good morning. Parsifal, good morning. Pump my eating bags, LOL. LFG amigos, wrecked. Let's go. J Class Beat, let's go. Ryan Torres, yeah, dog. Still making ROI on my max length miners. What's the FUD about, bro? I don't know. You tell me. I'm making miners too. Mr. Green, 100%. Let's go. I think Lotus will be fine. Exactly. And why would anybody trust this team now that they could just go to any other Titanx projects instead? I bet other projects are going to see the capital infusion from displaced Lotus investors. Amen. There's a lot. Let's get into it. So he basically went on a 2-hour phone call. I'm throwing rapid tweets out there. Other people are doing it too. Speculation's going wild because we got a 2-hour period where something's wrong. And if you were there for the Titanx stake payouts and hyper, none of this stuff happened. So we're all in a like a Titanx bubble where we've seen build on Titanx projects come out and just be a success and no problems like this happen. We're not used to this. You know, we are now like a wake-up call, like, oh wow, this is DeFi. This does happen. You know, people always throw out like, okay, we're lucky the code works, like ha ha ha. Understanding it does work and it's been working. And I think our expectations lowered. We'll get more into that as I move along here. But that 2-hour phone call happened. And then it was just like a message like, I got bullish news for you guys in the next 24 hours. So everybody was like, and you got to understand, if I'm a founder and I got news for you in 24 hours, I'm giving you the news now. Or a sneak peek to that news, because a lot of people, if you're in their Telegram, flip the switch when the news came out. Those same people, like the admins and some of the people that think they're admins, you know, they're in the chat, they're supporting, were like, this is going to $1. This is bullish news coming. And, you know, once the news came out, they were complaining and angry. I saw a lot of those people flip. They were like, hey, homie, I thought you said this was going to $1. What's going on? You were saying this yesterday, bullish news, right? But all jokes aside, like, nobody saw this coming. And then we look at the price yesterday, and all we have to work with is bullish news is coming. So you saw the price reflect that statement. You really did. The price reflected that statement on Saturday, before yesterday, and the price went up. Like, people are thinking there's a fix here. He's going to fix it. Like, they were thinking, I'm going to get my money back. You know, everything's all good. Because there was a dispute whether the contract was renounced or if it wasn't renounced. And if you put the contract in, it showed that it was not renounced, which would be a very good thing, because if they didn't have the contract, you know, renounced, they can go make some changes. And Jake has talked about this before, about before you toss out the keys on his platforms, you know, why he still has the keys. And he wanted to structure things to make sure everything was working, you know, that the car was driving on autopilot like a Tesla can right now, with no concern of it breaking down or, you know, early on, or some type of glitch happening. any type of code bugs. You know, he wanted to make sure that he had the keys to do something about it in case. Where in this case, I guess it really was one of those things where it was renounced. So there was nothing you can do. I think what Rainman could have done early on so that people didn't start buying Lotus and thinking bullish news was coming, and then the price tank when they got the news, was just said, because I believe in that 2-hour phone call that did take place, that he was well aware that he had to go to the drawing board to figure out his compensation plan, if that's what you want to call it. So he knew there's nothing I can do, right? That I can't change the code. But here's what I got to do. If you would have told people that yesterday, hey, the contract is 100% renounced, I can't do anything. But I have a plan that's going to come out of my own pocket. People would have dumped their tokens early on, wouldn't have bought the hype, thinking there was bullish news, and it left too much room for speculation. It did, because even I threw it out there with Craig Grant, like, I think Rainman wouldn't do this. I think Rainman's a good guy. He has good intentions. But when you play out what happened, one could only imagine like every possibility. So my brain's going, maybe there's some fix we're not aware of, right? What's he gonna do? Nobody knew. But what you noticed is the buy and burn, and this is the speculation that I didn't want to think, but there was enough time to think about it. The buy and burn was kicking, it was kicking some butt when it comes to sales. It was buying and burning every 8 minutes, like $2,200 worth of Lotus. And I'm going, all right, well, yeah, you know, there's probably good news coming. He cranked it up, you know, to fight the volatility. We got some news coming. He's saying it's bullish, but then the end result was something that wasn't bullish across the board. More people were not really crazy about it. And I was like, whoa. Now I know that he's given up 400 billion of his own Titanx, you know, to go into the pool. That's great and all that. But I'm like, that's a lot of money to give up. A lot of money to give up. He made 400 billion Titanx through the Genesis wallets, which he says, it's my money. I'm going to give it to you in the next pool. You know, we'll listen to what he says exactly. And I'm like, man, if I had to fork up that much money, I would have just cranked up the buy and burn and sold all my Lotus in the past 24 hours because nobody knew. There's people that are speculating positive and people were speculating negative. And it was the volatility was there. But once the news came out, it tanked because that meant majority ruled that wasn't in favor of it. That was too much time for people to speculate and think. Because, whoa, in the 24-hour period, all of a sudden this thing starts cranking $2,200 at a time every 8 minutes. Like, and I would understand because I'd be like, hey, man, you gotta get yours. You know, I'm about to give up my money. So there was just too much of that time there that I think that just really came back to bite him in the butt later. And let's listen to this. What he has, we'll pick it apart, right? Let me go ahead and press play for you guys. This is his statement to everybody that we'll listen to review.
Hello, everyone. Rainman here. Let's first acknowledge what happened yesterday regarding the first 8-day Lotus payout. A critical issue was discovered in the Lotus contract that was missed by the two professional independent auditing companies. I sincerely apologize for this and have carefully designed the solution to make all participants whole and create an even more exciting Lotus protocol. So here's what we're implementing. First, there will be an airdrop compensation. Every Lotus staker will receive an airdrop of Lotus equivalent to their stake tokens. Out of the 33 million tokens in the Lotus liquidity wallet, 6 million will be allocated to fully compensate the stakers. Everyone will be made whole and get their Lotus back. We will create a snapshot from November 2nd of all those who staked. Then we will airdrop the tokens to all the wallet addresses over the next 1 to 3 days maximum. Second, the staking rewards rescue. The remaining 27 million Lotus tokens in the liquidity wallet will be staked by the Lotus liquidity wallet to retrieve the locked staking rewards. These rescued rewards will then be moved directly to the new Lotus V2. Third, the Lotus V2 release. Soon, we will launch Lotus V2 with a new name, which will be Eden, allowing a straightforward 1-to-1 ratio swap of Lotus V1 to V2. As users' miners mature, you can claim them on the site. There will be a button to swap the token to Eden, again at a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so this is super bullish news, what I'm about to tell you now. The Genesis Fund transfer. All Genesis funds minus Lotus, audit, and build feeds will be added to the 8-day reward pool in Lotus V2. The new 8-day reward pool will have 400 billion Titanx, currently valued around 400,000 at the start of V2.
Okay. So digest that for a minute there. All right, because that's his money right there that he's getting from the Genesis. He knows that, like that's his, what he's going to make for helping the community. It's a Genesis wallet, no expectations. We know that this is their cake. I'm in the wrong business, bro. Streaming and buying and flipping tokens and getting wrecked because this protocol is 10 days in, and we learned that this is actually, and a lot of these projects we're looking at right now were built by Decentra. So we've seen Rainman on stream. All we think is Rainman, right? Then we discover that he outsourced for development of this platform, which, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. But we're going to dig into why it could be an issue and why I don't think it should have happened, because you have two individuals, Jake and Eric, who work and have spoke about the top tier auditing companies that they work with and the developers that they've known and worked with for a long time now. So he was able to outsource with Decentra to build Lotus and earn enough money, 400 billion Titanx, which is like $400,000. Titanx 10X is that's $4 million, right? Make that in just 10 days. I'm in the wrong business, right? Because that's a lot. And for him to give that up just shows he's a good guy for doing that, right? And he doesn't have to, but that's what he's going to do to save the project to move forward. And then, on the back end, he can earn more down the road if people continue to participate, which I think they will. But who is Decentra? Well, it is this outsourced development team, right? That he used. Now, he wasn't the first to use it. There are others. If you go to the Twitter, right? Let me close Telegram. We're going to take a look. Warp has used them. Scotty Blaze, that's the Blaze team. Titans of LP, right? And then you have this screenshot here, and Column was actually tagging this from Phoenix. And we see all these names here. Mike Dean. So like you see Mike Dean, you're thinking, oh, top tier, right? Like, hey, this is Gucci. They build all these platforms, which, Alien X, Flux, Awesome X, like we haven't seen anything go wrong yet on any of them. They made Vault, Viper's coming out, Phoenix, Lotus. But now that there has been an issue, and now we know that it was a big problem because it wasn't like a small issue. It was $1 million mistake. You can literally call it $1 million mistake. And for years, I've had connections with developers, right? Some really, really good ones, some really bad ones too. And the top tier developers, like what I heard Eric talk about yesterday, he's been working with this team for a long time. And he said on stream, like, hey, My arm's reaching out to whoever wants to build on Titanx. Reach out to me. We'll help you. So you've had this top tier audit company that Jake has used for smart contracts that are similar to Lotus that have had no issues. Hydra is kind of similar. You have these guys right here that are using top tier builders and auditors, and you go to Decentra. Why? And that, my friends, is the only answer would be because it'd be more cost efficient. If you know you have a founder that I've seen you on stream with, you guys are streaming together all the time, why not go that route? The cheaper route would be probably Decentra versus Jake probably pays his people to find problems, to pay him top dollar to find problems, right? Because a good developer, and when I speak with them, they go, I'm submitting my code for the audit because that's what everybody wants to see. But I audit my own stuff. I already know there shouldn't be anything. If anything, this is what's going to come up, and that's because of the way it's structured. And then it comes back and you see like their work was good. They get like a 90 out of 10. We'll look at their audit. It didn't really get a good score. It's even when you get an audit back and there's a lot of critical errors, you go back and fix it, right? But the good developers send their stuff over, and it's like hard for the auditors to find stuff when you have a good dev because they can make code and they could audit it themselves. And when you have a dev like that, and you are thinking, hey, like I'm good, but I need someone who's much better than me above my level. Let me go to, pay this person a lot. That's when you're starting to deal with top tier auditors like what Jake and Eric are using, in which they only launched, a few platforms in like a year's time, and they had no issues. So there's really no excuse to go to Decentra. And I want to, what bothers me about the Decentra thing is now we know all these projects are using them. Their Twitter that we're looking at right now has only been around since June 2024. All right. Their first tweet was on October the 27th. They're not like, we don't know where they're from. They could be from very reputable audit companies, but they're that new. We as the community, as close as we are to hyper-deflationary period in Titanx and DragonX and everything, and as close as we might be to a bull market, deserve better than this. You made a lot of money, you're giving it up, but I think that people should have spent way more, the mega bucks for security. And now that we have gone through this and it's happened, there's nothing you can do about it. What's done is done. There's a fix, we'll listen more to what he has to say. Now we have to say, okay, here's the new standard. Use Jake and Eric's guy. And if that doesn't pass their smell test or anything like that, it's gonna cost you more. But why jeopardize all that money and ruin your reputation? Rainman comes off as a very nice guy, very good-hearted man. Wants to give his money he earned, and they could have changed his life and toss it to you to make things right. But you had that, like, listen, man, I don't have that friendship with Jake. I'm not streaming with him every other day. And me and Eric barely followed each other on Twitter yesterday. He actually unblocked me, and I'm glad. I love DragonX. I missed out. I should have. I was wrong about all that aspect. But if I had access to them and I'm coming out with the project, I am going nowhere else other than where I know that what they've built is flawless. Why would I go with Decentra, whose Twitter's been around since June? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, other than I was cutting corners because I was thinking of what was going to come out of my pocket. Now, I think it's good that people want to build, but if you don't build things the right way, good stuff's not cheap, and cheap stuff's no good. All right? That's the lesson you're going to learn in life. If you're going to put out any type of code, smart contract, any type of platform, whether it has good intentions or not, you got to pay the good money for a good auditor, for a good team. This is the developing team that we're talking about, who used an auditor, 2 different auditors to look at their code. But the team, like when we're looking at their Twitters, is like, where did you come from out of nowhere? Your first tweets in October? Like, why are these guys using you? Why? You guys are good people. Make good choices so that you can continue to live off that, that good energy we see from all of you guys. Now they know. Now they know. Now they know. Let's get to the comments. So Rainman ain't coming on your stream today. No, he blocked me. He said he was. You saw the tweet. He said, I said in the video, hey man, like I'm getting on you, bro. But if you're ready to take the hardball questions and come on to my stream, where it's not a hostile environment, but I'm not going to hold back and not hold you accountable. You might go on somebody else's stream and they'll sit there and laugh and giggle and side with you. I'm not. I'm on the people's side. Why did you go with Decentra? They have like no history, no track record. And if they did, it's not proven anywhere that we can see that where they actually came from. It's very irresponsible, man. This is why now the standard is go with Eric's guy, go with Jake's guy. If not, we don't touch it. And if you dare go with somebody else because it's cheaper, we need a 7 to 14 day test net because this kind of stuff cannot happen on the verge of a bull market. And people don't feel like they're made whole. We'll kind of get into that in a second. Let's go to the chat. Sorry, guys. LFG. Thanks, R2R, man. You saved my Titanx. I guess you didn't get in because I was like, I'm not getting in, you know. But I'm doing minors. I'm not buying the fear. I'm buying the fear. I was trolling, but no, I do feel bad for Rainman since he did get audits done, but it was them that failed him. Pretty unfortunate. Yeah, he's just the face. People need to be upfront about that. AI, Craig, he said about the OptimX founder after watching some videos. I guess there was some verbiage that came out. He's like, he's the front man. I was like, how? What? Because of the way he was talking. And I was like, oh, maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't know, right? Because he mentioned he came from XRP. It was a long stretch. And I look, and he is from that. Nothing's gone wrong that I know of on AwesomeX, but then everything's got a question mark. Is there flaws in their code with all these projects that they've made and haven't come out yet? You saw the list that can be exploited. Now, what does somebody who can exploit a smart contract do when they know they got a fresh set of eyes on a bunch of projects that just got through from a project developers that listen, you got good devs. They're going to send code to an auditor and the auditor is going to have a difficult time. Let's take a look at the audit here in a second about all the critical feedback that they got. Always grinding. Thank you, man. Why block one of the most consistent Titanx ecosystem content? Hey, thanks, man. I'm putting in work for the community. I want to look out for everybody and make sure that we hold people to a higher standard. Now we know. Okay, listen, Rainman. Drop the auditors that you used and go straight to Jake's. If you don't got the money to do it, I don't see why anybody would trust you. We've learned a hard lesson here, and that sucks that it had to be you. You're a good guy. You blocked me, all that. I know your emotions are running high, bro. I don't fault you for that. I was on your ass about it from the moment it happened because you left us for 24 hours with no answers. Believe it or not, the content that I was providing and other people were saying things was giving people something, like give me something. You can tell me I'm not getting my money back. I just need to digest. It was a Saturday. You don't know if somebody was in the middle of having a baby or family over and they're just like, what just happened? Because when I found out that you outsourced to a team like that and that's how much money you made, I was like, I'm in the wrong business. But it's a good thing you're giving it up. It's a good thing you're giving it up for the greater good. But you made a lot. I don't think you paid a lot. You definitely didn't pay as much as Jake did for his. I'll tell you that right now. I know that. Makes me trust the team less. Nunu, nice. Endo, LFG, Thomas G, what's up, Mr. 430? 4:30 a.m. on crypto. Did I say it? On all or nothing. Oh, 4:30 all or nothing crypto. I love it. My bad, bro. Rainman is not the dev. No, he is not the dev. He's not the dev. The developers are right here. Twitter account and everything. The people who made a build on Titanx protocol only have a track record of being on Twitter for 2024, where you can go and find other outsourced to other teams that have been around for years. They'll tell you they built on Avalanche, they built on Phantom. Here's my resume. No, you got these dudes that are like, listen, it's not bad. It's not far from the truth to say they're nobodies. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's just kind of there. This is the correct take on the issues. Yeah, we got to just demand better from, everybody, right? He didn't get much sleep, that's for sure. Yeah, poor guy, man. Poor guy. I mean, day 8 happens with no hiccups. Most epic day ever, man. Everyone's happy. We don't even care who Decentra is, never talk about it. But now we're like, okay, what happened? Let's piece this together. Decentra, who are your auditors now? Who is your daddy and what does he do? Right? Let's look at the audit though. Because like I said, you can go talk to Jake and Eric and all that. I can tell you right now, because I've talked to really good developers, like really good ones. And they break apart their own work, right? And they're just like, I know it's going to come back pretty clean other than these things. And then we'll have to discuss why, it's part of the smart, certain aspects of smart contracts will come up as a flag and the auditors got to understand why. And then they'll address it and there'll be very few flaws. Let's take a look at what their audit had when it did come back, because now that this happened, now we're talking about audits, because we were like in this state of trusting, right? Like everything built on Titanx has come out and it's been good. So they had, listed here a lot of findings and it lists the impacts, like findings, high risk, medium risk, low risk, informational. So they had all these things here, right? When they submitted the code. Think of it like this, right? And this is how you really got to think about it. I've always looked at it like this when somebody's audit comes back and I go, damn, homie, what the hell? Like you submitted that with it's like if you're a really good speller and you submit your tests and you got all these marks and you're just like, man, I thought you were good at spelling. What happened? You had a bad day? But, because if you're building code, you should technically know how to audit code too. It may not be your bread and butter and profession, but I look at these and now we'll look at these too and say, okay, they made a lot of mistakes. Let's understand these mistakes and look. And it's all laid out here. It gives you the security, the likelihood, the risk classifications, the impacts. You really want to know what they got on a grade when they submitted the code. Did they do it fast and then wanted to get the corrections to make them real quick because they were in a rush? Did they submit it thinking that none of this was going to show up and it did and they fixed it? You really got to start looking deeper, because stuff like this happens all the time and you only can reflect on what was, given on the test. If I made code and I know that people are going to look at my work after it gets audited, I'm going to make sure it's so squeaky clean, right? If I paint a house and the homeowner is going to come home, I'm making sure there's nothing drooping, nothing like that, and if there's minor mistakes they see, then we'll fix it. But if there's some high risk critical errors that they turned in, they didn't do so well on the test. And if they're making code, you should be able to audit code somewhat. And I can guarantee you the good people that make code, because I've talked to them, they know when they submit that code that, hey, man, you shouldn't really find much. Good luck. And they find something and they fix it. So you got to reflect on these audit reports as a community, and really dig through it. Because now we are like, Pulsar got removed from Titanx Hub, no audit. But we got all these projects that are on Decentra. A big $1 million mistake just happened. So we got to go and backtrack and figure out, okay, what's going on here? The new standard is we want Jake's guys, Eric's guys, those auditors. Where are they? How much do they cost? Titanx can change your life, guys, with hyperdeflationary aspects that are taking place in the near 4 days. It starts 4 days, and we're dealing with this. I love you. I can't say I love you, man. You did block me, but I like you, bro. I think you're a good person. You have to do better than this. If you're going to be the front man, meaning you're the money of the operation, you're going to hire somebody else. Why would you hire somebody that's no rep? And Steve's building all kinds of stuff on him. Steve's building like a whole infrastructure. And then you saw Steve posting yesterday, 3 audits, like all scared. People getting kicked in his chat for asking. I'm like, and I said this too, and Eric said it yesterday. I said this last week. I said, look at Jake, Titanx, Hyper, right? Within like months, Flawless, Eric, Dragon X, Hydra. And then Titanx Farm, he only built 2 flawless projects and gave it time to marinate and audits to be done before it was released. That's a perfectionist. That's somebody when his team turns in an audit to their guys are probably like, damn, man, these cats are good. I can't find. I thought I found something. You know, like different caliber, like different level. 4 days before hyper, I don't know, man. I don't know, but he's doing everything he can for sure. But he had to do everything he could have done before. You had the blueprint. You've been on live stream with Jake and all these people so many times, and then Eric told you guys yesterday, like, hey guys, I got you covered. You need my help. I got a team of people I've been working with for a long time. You know, I got some auditors that are going to really make sure your work's solid and slow it down. A lot of these people are like, oh, we're going to build and build and build. And now we got this, and that. And you're really big. And then we go back and look. And we're like, damn. These dudes are pushing out build on Titanx platforms like it's an assembly line, right? Like an assembly line. Just do. You want a project? You get a project. You get a Titanx project. Like, whoa, what's going on here? We know Rome wasn't built in the day. That's why this saying has been around for hundreds of years. What's going on? You got to question it. Because we can't afford this right now. We're too close to the finish line. Right? Didn't the same auditors do the Titanx project scare? I don't Titanx itself, I don't believe so. I hope not. No, I don't believe so. It would be shocking. That's why the type of audits is performed is critical. Lots of audits just confirm happy path security, bug bounties can help define logic and other issues. I like his plan to make people whole. Yeah. Making people whole is very important, right? Let's see. If you blame the auditors, there are some of the same for other projects, though. Maybe it was never fixed. Yeah, it slipped through the cracks, So we need better auditors. We need 7 to 14-day test nets. Need audits for safety and protocols. 3 audits minimum. Yeah. Yep. 30 audits minimum. Right? I mean, listen, it's the least we can ask from people, right? Like I said, good guy. He had it going on, man. He was right there. I'm talking about like when the Seahawks were like right in front of the goal line against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they threw the ball. And it got intercepted and they lost. Remember that? Would have been their back-to-back. All they had to do is drive down the middle. You went with Decentra. I don't know what's going on here, man. I don't think it was auditors. I think they didn't fix it and launched. Yeah, only one could speculate, man. Yo, what's up, Mo? What's going on? We want some Mo. It was launched carelessly and not double-checked. It seems to be the case. What up, TG? Thanks for shedding the light. Yeah, I think the moral of today's video is to just dissect what we could do going forward. As a community, we need to get up together and be like, okay, we demand transparency. That's great. You're giving up your money. You made $400 billion Titanx in 10 days. Congratulations to you. You deserve it. But then that happened. You're giving it up. That makes you a good person. But let's step back a minute and let's ask, you could have had life-changing money. Maybe I lost life-changing money because I'm not going to be made whole with this. We'll watch the rest of what he says. There's too many things that were not done at the beginning. And I said this in a video. Go back. When Vault came out, right? And Lotus was literally loading up to come up, on the 26th. But Vault was like, we have Lotus coming. And I said, that's weird because Lotus is coming out on the 26th. That's right around the time where like you're losing a lot of hype from Vault and the economic energy was slowing down and the amount of Titanx to buy and burn it was decreasing. I said, Lotus is going to launch like conveniently at the right time to get that hype back going to make it to November the 8th. And I think it was rushed to benefit Vault, to keep Vault going forward. I felt that and I expressed it. And I hope I'm still wrong by thinking they rushed it in benefit for Vault, which I was like, I'm not sure based on the tokenomics is going to help Vault too much. Because on the flip side, if something bad happens, right, then it's going to bring down the price because they're paired, right? Bart, oh, what? What's up, Bart? Who is your dev daddy? What does he do? Salute. Yeah, hey, who's your dev daddy? What does he do, man? For real, for real. For real. Who is your dev daddy or what does he do? And this is just something that, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited for us to grow as a community and be smarter and demand these things, because that just gives us better quality. We deserve that, man. Like, we as the people have pushed this forward. And I think Eric yesterday, he commented on my Dragon X post yesterday about how, like, we don't care about day 369. He put, thanks. I said, no, thank you for flawless code, right? You know, I'm a jerk. I said all these things. I was wrong, you know, and about Dragon X. It was for the greater good. But now we're not even worried about day 369 payouts. Like, hey, man, just keep it there for a rainy day. And appreciate the flawless code. And I think now we appreciate the work of those who've been doing it. So now we need to say, Rainman, go connect with these guys. Flawless code, you know, like they're at your fingertips. You have the blueprint to successfully score into the end zone. Because day 8 happens, everyone gets paid. He keeps his money. Which, look, man, he's a human being. He didn't do this to just not make money from it. That amount of Titanx and what he would have got after fees and paying everybody off will change his life. So of course he's tossing and turning, thinking, man, like, I blew it. But then he's thinking about your money. That's why he's giving his up. So the way he bounces back from here is if we all get together and just demand, like, hey, you're going to relaunch. Like, here's what you need to do. Well, there you go. And I'll still be making miners. I have been. But that's a risk I'm taking and thinking to myself, we'll see if it pays off. So let's see. Where do I go with the questions? A lot of you in here today. Appreciate you all being here. Dragon X. Oh, I've connected Rainman to Dead Rose. They must use Dead Rose or George. These auditors can be trusted to review any issues to us. Thank you. So exactly what we're talking about here. I don't know if that's Eric or who it is in relation to Dragon X, but the connection has been made, right? And I'm glad because now we can see a successful relaunch, right? Because I just said I'm making miners. I said yesterday, it's not buy the fear, it's mine the fear. This is still a mining token. It's still a mining token. And this is just, I put that post about that yesterday. So this is awesome. Shout out to you for connecting Rainman to Dead Rose, because now we are going to be like, okay, we like you, man. We like you. I can give you a second chance, right? And shout out to Bartown for the $100 right there. I just realized what I was laughing about. I forgot to thank you, brother. Thank you. But this is good news right here. You're seeing it live. This is good news. So on the path to redemption looks good. Regardless, I've seen that Rainman blocked a lot of other people and all that. He blocked me. Like, let him vent his emotions however he needs to, like, shut down seeing what we post and all that, because it couldn't be a good feeling. This is an ugly feeling he's going through today, right? We know he's not a bad actor. He's giving up his funds that, you know, I feel like he deserved, but he was right there. So they're going to connect Dead Rose with George auditors that can be trusted, and I'm happy that he's on the right road. And I'm willing to continue to talk about Lotus moving forward as an example of, hey, our community is so strong. We were able to bounce back and regroup to make Lotus successful. As long as we know it's in the right hands, right? And mistakes happen. This is how we become better. And now it has us like, well, let me check the audits. Let me see what's good there, you know, for the greater good. Hey, what's up? What's up, Lady Mania? What up? I never seen a V2 outside of the blue chips. Last test of time. V2s are kind of a trope for doji stuff. Yeah, V2s happen, man. You know, we saw the V2 on PulseX. V1 came out. There was a mix-up. The fees weren't paying out. V2, right? V2. Wonder who he chose for the third auditor. I don't know, but the Dragon X team is connecting people with Dead Rose George. Now we know it's out there. You saw it live. All right, guys. Like all these other projects, hold your launch date. If you're a Decentra project, hold your launch date. Connect with George over at Dead Rose. Let's do it the right way because we want to participate and we want to make money. We want to do it safely, right? It's a scary thought, you know, if you get on a roller coaster and little did you know that the roller coasters weren't audited and, you know, you can lose your life. You can lose your life savings. I've lost a lot of money in crypto and I still do. That's why I have my biggest wallets are on ledgers that I throw into the safe. I won't touch because I know I have that urge to sell stuff and do dumb decisions. And not reviewing code has been a bad habit of mine where I've been Titanx. I'm like, let's get it. Ask questions later, but things happen, man. Things happen. There was 2 different audits. One had issues and one says it was revolved. Cool. Implement AlienX technology in your protocols. AlienX, I got to talk about them. I owe them a video. I know they are part of Decentra, but you know, it's like this. Decentra may have launched projects that have yet to be exploited or might not have issues. Those are the things that would run in your mind, right? But good God, I had a dream about aliens last night. No, I've been watching from y'all's stream last night. Cool. PGTC Alien X, Alien UFO Titanx technology, right? We got a lot of people in the chat today. I like Jake and Eric. Protocols are safe. Yeah, man. Listen, man. They're right there for you, for you future builders. Take advantage of, you know, their connections, their ties, and what they can provide. It's for the greater good. I agree about Eric and the code. Yep, absolutely. I'm glad he reached out. Very humble to be like literally put his arm out. Like, bro, I will help you. Right? I will help you. And we'll get you situated. Mo. You should apologize for anything. Appreciate the good criticism, the bad. Never be a maxi. Hey, man, appreciate that. What up, Mo? Man, we got a lot of people in here. Thank you, Dragon X. Yeah, I love that. The coming together for the greater good and saying, hey, there's a V2 and everyone's skeptical, right? I came in this thinking like, there's no way. But now I'm like, let me get some Lotus. Maybe I could swap it for Eden and do the whole thing because now I know that it's going to be in good hands. We have a track record there. And hey, if Jake and Eric are going to vouch for these guys and they've used them, we've seen the flawless operations they're running. And we've seen that all play out. Then, okay, Rainman, let's play ball, man. The 3 strikes are out, right? So you only got 1 strike, right? But you're making a hole, so you're doing a good thing. George is from the stamp. He's good. So see, there's people out there. Bartertown. I've been bugging the hell out of Bartertown sometimes. Like, hey, bro, you got the scoop? Because I remember when I first was streaming on one of my old videos back in the day. Like, we were coming up together and we were learning like DeFi on Tron and all that. And like, you know, his channel was smaller, and I'm like, you know, he grew, and I'm like, nah, I'm learning from this guy. You know, when it comes to, you know, the connections that he has, the people he knows, you know, and the network. So I'm glad I had that friendship and that person. Shout out to Bartertown. Follow him on YouTube. Good guy, good content, knows a lot of things. Heavily networked out there, knows the goods and the bads of what lies underneath. Check them out on YouTube. Dead Rose is a cool name. Bartown Straight Talk Legit Alpha. Yep. Stop funning, bro. The stream is not even required. All right. I didn't know I was funning. All right, but that's all good. I think it can be said if it gets top-notch auditors and use 400 billion to airdrop stakers who were staked before 8 days. Fairest way to make people whole. then use the rescued funds. Hopefully they come out, on top, right? Final chill. He's not footing, bro. Relax. I appreciate you guys. Bro, our man was the one who footed Dragon X like crazy. Yeah, man, I did. And what happened? What happened when I did that? I missed out, but I did buy between like right on the pump. I created on a couple wallets that I just tossed out because I don't want to sell it. Some highs on Dragon X because I went big when I realized, okay, I see why this is moving. And then you just had that Tim Waltz knucklehead moment, like, hey man, you were wrong, bro. Oh, this thing is going crazy. So right now I have a lot of Dragon X, and then I'm buying Dragon X to buy Morpheus. Really bullish about Morpheus. Definitely. No, man, these people come in fun and later make a half-ass apology. Hey, I appreciate your feedback, man. That might be you, but you do you, man. Go make a YouTube channel. You go express yourself live on camera. It's easy to be in the comments. It's real easy to be in the comments. Flip the script. I don't think you got the cojones. You don't. Nothing perfect. You're doing the right thing. Could have just bailed for real. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what will take place, right? I'm looking forward. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. R2R is a consumer ambassador. Thanks for being a voice. Also, big respect to Rainman. Yeah, let's listen to what Rain finished what he had to say, because it does give more what I want people to realize is there is a reason to be upset still and think you're going to lose value, and you might. I don't know. Let's listen deeper. Let's go back. Let's listen again. Hold on. Let me share this screen.
It will be.
Let me make sure I'm sharing it. Let's see what he's got to finish up here.
It will be made public so you all can track it and view it. This wallet will be holding the Lotus V2 8-day reward pool. This will be a major catalyst for the Eden launch. Mining consistency is important, so this is number 5. The mining ratios between Lotus V1 and Lotus V2 will match on the release day, ensuring a smooth transition and no arbitrage between the versions. Mining Lotus V1 remains viable as tokens will be engageable one-to-one with Lotus V2. 6. Significant liquidity boosts. The Lotus liquidity wallet has Titanx to provide substantial support to Lotus, enhancing its depth and strengthening overall liquidity for a more robust ecosystem. 7. The Lotus Bloom reward is not affected at all. The Bloom rewards will remain unaffected on Lotus V1 and distributed as usual to Lotus V1 stakers. Number 8. The new Lotus V2 will be triple audited. This will ensure complete security and safety for the new protocol. The new ticker for the token will be Eden. We're committed to making this right and even better. We believe this transition to Lotus V2 not only resolves the issue, but creates a stronger foundation. In conclusion, to drive this home, Eden is a continuation of Lotus. The tokenomics and protocol are too amazing to change anything. Everyone will be made whole. Know that. My profits from the Genesis will be in the first 8-day reward pool before Eden V2 even launches. The pool will be massive by day 8. Once you claim your Lotus, swap it for Eden one-to-one and restake it if you choose. Sell it if you choose. Do whatever you want with it.
All right, so I'll give you honest feedback on this right here. All right. I've talked to a few whales that are in this position where they're saying, I paid this price point to get in. How am I going to get that value back? And the simple answer is going to be there's going to be more in the pool than there was the original day 8. So I don't know if it's a situation where, like, if I can grab $100,000 and buy $100,000 at Lotus at 10 cents, right? And swap and, get a share of that, and we'll dilute smaller bags, obviously, if I do a max stake for this big payout, right? I don't know if it's just subject to the people that were involved in this, or other people can participate with me buying Lotus to swap for Eden to stake. If that's the case, the pool size goes up and increases, but that is going to be a massive pool for day 8. So it's going to give you an opportunity. Like I say, I love Eric Thomas, where he says, like, you've gone through the pain, get a reward from it. So if I get my, 1-to-1, I'm gunning for that reward and I'm putting it in. And I'm buying more to supersede anybody trying to dilute me at this point. Because there may be people that try to do that if that's available, but there's going to be people who won't. Why I would at this point is because what Dragonex just came in here and said. They're connecting with Dead Rose, connecting with George. All right. Now I know that I'm in a much safer environment where I could trust going heavy to do this, right? And if this plays out and people are going to sell their tokens, right? Maybe you wait till they get their 1-to-1 and they dump because they have no faith and they don't want to do this. And I buy that and I take their positions and I stake. This is crypto. People give up their positions all the time. All the time. I talked about this in a meme token where I had 3 wallets where I bought the same of Nero CTO. I sold that like the night before it did its first pump. And I was like, whoa, that would have been like 80 grand. It would have been a value of like $4 million for that one wallet I sold for like a tiny Ethereum loss. I sold my future to somebody else. My other 2 wallets did great. It was life-changing money for me, but I was like, that one wallet that I was just like, F it, let me just sell it in case it dumps. I don't lose ETH on that one. It would have been worth $4 million. And then do you want to look back and say this could have been worth a lot and Rainman did everything he could to make us whole? Maybe he only understands that this can be done and it's good for you and we don't get it yet. He's given up his money to make the pool bigger. That's where I'm at, where I'm in that situation, because I'm not in a situation where I'm like a big old way on the staking. But if I could match, and have the opportunity, looking at the price right now, and I think this is where people are worried about, right? When people get their 1-to-1 and there's a sell-off for Eden to stake, right? Because you're going to get Lotus back. You're going to get all your Lotus back. You're getting a refund in Lotus. You're getting all of it back. You can sell a restake. So technically, you just didn't get a reward that you were owed, but you're also, the Lotus that you put in there is not stuck and gone forever. You're just not getting the reward after all, right? That was technically owed to you. So, it's open game for you to do what you want. I'm going to look to see where the opportunity might be. If I could compete with those people that are getting a 1-to-1 by buying Lotus and swapping 1-to-1, I can see how they think that's not fair because they can get further diluted. And now there's anticipation for a really, really big pool. But this is the solving the issue, and this is what it is. Some people will take advantage, some people will leave. And those that leave, I get to take their positions. So this could be a big opportunity that you would give up and give it to me if I decide to do that. So that's really on you, to be honest, what you want to do here. But my confidence does come from seeing the Dragonex post there and understanding what lays ahead. So the confidence comes in where I'm like, okay, I'm making miners, but maybe now I do want to 8-bit on the staking opportunity if I can be a part of it. If there's going to be a bigger day 8 than there was before, and audits are all good, everything's great, and I can still participate with the 1-to-1 as unfair as it sounds, I might do it. What if someone who staked doesn't have any more money to mine more Lotus to keep that position in the pool because new people are coming in, diluting your 8-day payout? I don't know if that's the case, to be honest with you. I'm not in the Telegram group anymore. I'm not. I am blocked on Twitter. I would ask him direct before I did this video. I planned on asking him. I was inviting him to come today. He had said that he would. Not happy with my feedback. Not happy with me. I understand, man. Emotions are running high. Like. But if it were me, and this is just the way I am, I'd be like, hey, I can't wait to go on Thomas G's stream and tell his ass he was wrong, right? Because he could technically come on here and tell me I was wrong about the contract. Right? I posted that video where I plugged it into a site that said it was not renounced, right? But it was renounced because if it wasn't renounced, he could have made some changes. But obviously, it's immutable. So we're looking down the barrel of a whole different scenario. He could have came on here and told me, like, hey, man, you were wrong. I'd be like, hey, bro, how many times do I have to come out in front of the Titanx community and say I was wrong? Like, I don't mind. Agreed. The fact that he's ducking you says it all. I don't think he's ducking me. I think at this point, he's so stressed out, he wants to tune the noise out. And he's probably like, I know Thomas G is relentless with the tweets. I just don't want to see it right now. That's what I'm thinking, right? That's what I'm thinking. Smash them like, friends. Smash those likes. So, if he changes his mind, he can come on here and, like I said, he gets to tell me that. But then I'll be like, but hey, man, you were wrong about this, but there's a chance for redemption. I'm still gonna make the Lotus miners. Like, I originally wasn't going to get into Lotus until I realized people were buying Lotus when they should have been mining it. So I said, okay, well, I know the price is going to correct hard because I used links in the description, guys. I used Mike Dean's premium package. I said, all this Lotus is coming out. The price is going to dip. So when the price dipped, people stopped making miners, and I can make 180-day miners all the way out, and there's not going to be a lot coming on these dates because people slow down. Versus if you're making 180-day miners on day one, that's going to be a huge inflation day for all the people that do 180-day miners. Versus I'm doing it when the biggest drama's going on, this huge day 8 scandal, malfunction. Let's take a look at the buy and burn. All right. It's got 1.9 milli. Yeah. 1.9 trillion tokens. Let's look at the payouts. So they're going to come in with a bunch of Lotus and I guess extract a big. I forget how he mentioned it. I'm not too in tune. They're going to make this whole somehow for the payout. Put it that way. So you have the opportunity. I can see why you would. I can see why you wouldn't. I can see both sides. What about the miners? Prices below enter price for someone, and most are beyond 8. Just saying. You see, you got to understand the miners. When you're playing a miner game, it's long term. It's long term. So, like, somebody asked me the other day, why are your Hydra miners 67 days? I said, because I make 88-day miners every day, but I'm doing the 67 right now because I'm having them come out every single day in January. So since I started them, day one, let's say January 1st was 67 days, right? Well, the next day I make one to come out January 2nd. I got to set that for 67 days to come out January 2nd, and then moving forward to get one every single day of all of 2025 as far out as I can from where I'm at. Like I did with Titanx. I get Titanx miners every single day on multiple wallets. I can go into anything I want. And right now, I'm doing Morpheus. I'm excited about that. 27 million Lotus to get major share of what is the pools to transfer to Eden payout pools. Yes, you're right. That's what he said. So 27 million Lotus to stake to get the major share in the pools to transfer to Eden. That's what it was. That's what it was. So as good as Dead Rose may be, it'll still possible. Something in the future can happen too. Like for me, it's like there's always like the what ifs, like anything could happen, but we've seen flawless operations working when it comes to Titanx, Hyper, Hydra, Dragon X. There's been no exploits, nothing like that. We're going on to a year. So every day, every month that's passed by is more and more confidence to the point where you're like, we don't worry about it. we worry about projects like this 10 days in. So it's going to be really rough. What I hope happens, right? Because you got to understand, he's giving up his own funds to make things whole. I hope it's a success so that the Genesis wallet starts to build up for new miners. He gets, money back in return. He goes the route with Dragon X, gets the proper audits and team behind him, and he makes his, we make ours, and everyone's happy. We enjoy hyper deflation that's happening. We're 4 days away. So in a perfect world, that will unfold. And it could. It very well could. I have confidence that there's enough people in the background that are surrounding him, like we just saw. They're going to come and say, hey, brother, it's good. Dust yourself off. Get up. We got you. Here's what we do now. We're going to move forward. And next thing you know, we're Thanksgiving, Christmas, and we forgot about this, but we learned to become stronger. What did we learn? Well, we learned about Decentra. We learned about the audit companies that they used, were poor. Now we have recommendations to go through the auditors with Dragon X and Titanx and get a higher tier, an elevated level of security that we trust and we know has been flawless, and we move on and we give everybody else that's coming on board, build on Titanx, the new industry standard, where we go Mike Dean. We see a lot of projects on there that are coming. Remove them if they're not using the final blueprint that has been there the whole time. Somebody went outside of that, we understand, but now we have this level, the standard. Get them off there. Get them off Titanx Hub unless they meet industry standards in the Titanx, in the build on Titanx protocol, right? Because right now we're in a position where we're just too close to the finish line. We're way too close. We're way too close to play games. So Lotus is going to make the adjustment. Other projects can before you launch, man, because I would be the person that's going to say, okay, I can't talk about your platform, or maybe somebody will say, don't go with them, right? Richard Hart had problems in pulse chain and contract. Forex Shard had problems in contract. Until computers are designed code for us, they're always going to be human error at some point. Yeah, Forex Shark was the one who could put a audit in front of an auditor and give them a difficult time to find those problems, because the problems that he had wasn't something that was going to break the system. It was more like the referral aspect. There were some things that took place, but it wasn't like a Houston, we have a problem issue. It was just like, hey, we got a problem, bro. Like little minor things, right? And Richard Hart's not a developer. Richard Hart is Rainman. Rainman outsourced to a team. Rainman is a nice, humble man. Richard Hart seems like a very arrogant jerk, and I love him. I love him. I love Richard Hart, but we're starting to see like there's opportunity outside of that max mentality. So that's where I'm at there. At the top, Dragon X, flawless operation. We're looking at the build and Titanx leaderboard. Hydra, flawless operation. Hyper, right? We got Vault. Nothing seems to be wrong with Vault at this point. They used Decentra. They just announced triple audit. So did they use Dead Rose? That's what you can ask. Hey man, before we see Vault's been good, and I pray that nothing gets exploited. But hey, before you get those pillars out, maybe you get some Dead Rose going on, because we saw what the team made a mistake, right? Ouroboros is by far, you see, outside of the realm of like Morpheus, I'm buying Dragon X, getting Morpheus. My long-term vision and my excitement is right here with Ouroboros, guys. All right. What they're going to do for the community is massive. What they're building, and they're in a testnet phase. They're testing it. This is exactly part of the new standard that I'm talking about here, right? Let's do a testnet, right? Let's do a testnet. If maybe you can't afford Dead Rose, right? Well, give us 14 days to testnet your stuff, because then we'll learn how to use it, and then we can break it if it's breakable, and it doesn't pass the test, and go back and go pay for the good one, right? So we're becoming better. We're becoming better. He didn't run. He's not diluting Bloom. Founder sticking around deserves respect. We need to support him. Also, Eden will be a continuation. People will FOMO back in for the 400K stake rewards. Yeah, I'm one of them. If I can do it, I will go back in or go in. Maybe I'll get a really good Lotus price. Right? People still making miners. Yeah, I'm making miners. I'm making miners, man. I'm gonna make more miners now that I saw that Dragon X comment that they're gonna come and pick them up and say, hey man, dust yourself off. Let's get this. Right? It is an agonizing wait while V2 gets built. People are gonna FUD and dump, but buy and burn just gonna eat more. Thank you, Dragon X. Shout out to Dragon X, right? Why are you so bullish on Morpheus? How does it stand out from the rest in your view? I'm in it. If you want to look at Morpheus really quick, let me pull it up here. You gotta look back in time when we pull up Morpheus. If you look back in time, pull up Morpheus here. Minting phase, remember the Dragon X minting phase? And listen, guys, when I talk about Dragon X, I get happy because I have some now. But when I talk about the minting phase and the amount of Titanx I had when I could have got 1-to-1, and I look back at my reaction to it and my frustration and anger over the staking, like I would have superseded anything I could have ever made in staking with the 1-to-1 to Dragon X, right? So that thought, which I don't like to think about because it will keep me up at night thinking about what I could have done when I could have got Dragon X 1-to-1. Okay. I don't want that feeling when it comes to Morpheus, right? They have a cycle minting phase, right? Like Dragon X did. Dragon X only has like 5.1 trillion tokens. So you look at Titanx and you go, I'm really excited about Titanx, 43.7 trillion tokens. It's going hyperinflation. It's going to become less and less. And then I look at the Dragon X stats and I see how it's outperformed Titanx and where I look at the stats and go, why? It's got way less tokens. It's got 5.1 trillion going hyperinflationary with a ton of ETH that nobody's worried about being used right now. It doesn't need to be used. That people have built on it that are going to burn it. And when this sucker starts burning more tokens, it's gonna set off. Maybe it will have a 1-to-88 ratio with Titanx when we see that take place. So Morpheus being bonded with Dragon X with the ratio no longer being 1-to-1 as far as the minting phase, it's 1 to 0.72 at this point. And so far, there's been 2 trillion plus Titanx used to mint. It's burned 729 million Dragon X. So this is burning Dragon X at this point. We got a pretty nice buy and burn, 1.37 trillion Titanx tokens. The minting phase will end, meaning the tokens will stop being minted. There will be no more tokens that could be minted, just like Dragon X. Now it's at a very low number compared to Titanx. Bonded to Titanx, it's hyperinflationary, becoming hyperinflationary itself. Dragon X will go parabolic for that reason with the smart contracts, buying and burning them. Morpheus is tied in heavily bonded to Dragon X that has that huge mechanic that I just went through, and it may not have even as many tokens as Dragon X. It may only have like 3 to 4 trillion tokens at the end, right? Could be less, what makes it more scarce than Dragon X. So there's a lot going on in this mixed recipe that's been put together through tokenomics and LP bonding that could really set Morpheus off. And now you're sitting and going, oh, it's not doing good. Well, the market's not doing good right now, but we're 4 days away from Titanx just going where the promised lands, where we've been waiting for, right? What we've all been waiting for. Morpheus is going to have probably less tokens than Dragon X, and it's bonded with it. So I'm excited. There's my reason. Steve used Desroad for Volt. He used to mention it every time he was on stream marketing. Cool. There we go. So if he used Dead Rose, then he'll probably use it for all his pillars, and I won't have to worry about that. Awesome. Good stream. So the last thing I'll say too, those people that are waiting in the meantime that are like, hey, I'm gonna stick to Lotus. Buy Lotus while it's cheap. Not financial advice. I'm talking to myself, and pair it up with my vault and earn yield. I'll probably grab one of my wallets and send some vault to it and buy some Lotus and start a fresh wallet just to farm and leave it there. Why not? That's the utility you got at this point. Just going to use it. So don't forget, guys, smash the like button, right? Drop a comment. I think there's a lot of reason to be upset. There's a lot of reason to be excited. I'm going to tell you this. I've seen some comeback stories in crypto, right? And this one has a very unique situation. It has other builders and a community of support that's strong and very powerful as far as their voice and collectively getting together for the greater good. Rainman has that support. So we're going to see some action take place. And this is where opportunity is at, where people are angry and disgruntled and upset and selling off. You could buy their bags at a discount, or maybe even more of a discount coming soon, because there will be that one-to-one that we're going to go through some growing pains, but opportunities there to stick it out and go, hey man, don't say I didn't mention it, but I'm in it to make more miners for the longevity of the project, because right now with Hydra and Hyper, I can only pay myself 88 days from now, which covers towards the end of January. Okay. Soon as days go on, I'll be able to pay my future self in the beginning of February, and every day that moves forward, I'm going to be able to make miners. Lotus allows me to pay myself. I've been paying myself, my future self, in late April and coming up early May, right? In early May. And every day I make Lotus miners, I pay my future self now in May. Every day, April and May, that's from certain dates, I'll be getting Lotus miners. Down the road. Because paying my future self has always saved me from trading and doing all this other stuff and just I'm collecting my Titanx miners now, right? I'm collecting my Titanx miners now, and I'm going, cool. This really this really worked out. It was really, really, really worked out for me. And I'm happy about those decisions. But let's see. Do I have a miner? Yeah, on this wallet, on my public wallet, I do have miners that I will be collecting today. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see. Is that showing up on the screen? When did I make this decision to make this miner? Let's see. January 29th. I remember then it was like, bro, you ain't going to get ROI. It's going red. I'm like, no, dude, I want to make miners. And I was on this one, let's see, I was making miners all the way till what in the hell? This is one of my wallets. Yeah. So this one right here, this wallet right here will get its last miner in December 2nd. And my other ones keep going, right? And I have a wallet where I'm collecting like 3 or 4 miners per day. And it was tough to continue to make them all the way up until the end of February, guys. I don't know if you remember, it was tough. It was tough. It wasn't looking good. Eden is not a good idea. Hey, man, don't participate, But pound the like button, guys. Opportunities out there. Rainman, if you're watching this, hey, if you do want to come on after all and talk about it, and we connect, it's all good. If not, I wish you luck, and I will continue to make miners. Possibly I'll participate in staking, but all's good. Till next time, we shall do it again. Yeah, dog.
Lady LaFontaine, just get it.
It's hard to walk, it's hard to walk. Scratch the riches, scratch the riches. It's hard to walk, it's hard to walk. Scratch the riches, scratch the riches. It's hard to walk, it's hard to walk. Scratch the riches, Rags to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Rags to riches. It's rags to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loots, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. I'm up to the core. It's R2R. It's R2R. Rags to riches. Rags to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Rags to riches. It's rags to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Rags to riches. Rags to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Rags to riches. It's rags to riches.